questions for Coach Key?
You had the hardest job probably of anyone on the staff last year, and it seems like you guys kind of hit the ground running. The spring, does it talk a lot about kind of the development over the last year for your guys?
Yeah, it was challenging. We knew it was challenging when we came here. I knew it would be challenging with the group of guys, but also, it really resilient group of guys that did a great job of just staying the course every day and working every day, regardless of what had happened the day before. Coming in, looking to get the corrections, looking to get better. One common goal, moving forward. All the kind of catch coaching phrases that you want to say with it, but at the end of the day, they're a great group of kids that are hardworking, they're smart, and football's important to them. And you get that combination of things, you have a chance to have a really good offensive line men, singular, and then plural, putting them all together. And as the season went on last year, and as they did kind of start to figure it out collectively, it was exciting to see them progress and experience success and they were getting better and better. And when they had success, it became more eager and more hungry, and then that really just fueled them going into the off season, which for them really has not been an off season. I mean, even when we were out on the road recruiting and they were in here on their own, organizing meetings on their own. Nobody in there doing all those things, and teaching the young guys that came in. Really, really happy with the way they conducted themselves this offseason, put themselves in a position now to be able to go out and execute and play and work to be a really cohesive, well-executed unit.
Talking about the work in the off-season and everything, I know Coach Collins said you wanted to add 10 pounds of protein average. How have you seen your room develop during the off-season, and are there any numbers that kind of stick out to you in that sense?
Yeah, for an offensive lineman, it's a little bit different in that regard because a lot of them are already, big. So, it might be, somewhat changing their body composition, lowering their body fat, increasing their lean muscle mass. A lot of them did have the challenge of putting weight on. And collectively, I think, I don't know the exact, I think it was 22, 23 pounds average, that they've put on in a year. And, credit to the strength staff and nutrition and just those guys that wanted to do it, wanted to get it done. And even the ones that didn't have to gain weight but had to work on their body composition, they've done a really good job of that. And then obviously that doesn't come without increases in strength levels and stamina and those things in the weight room.
How much does it mean to get bigger in the interior and add some more quality depth at offensive tackle?
Oh yeah, I mean, obviously size matters. It's very important. It's a big man's game. It's a line of scrimmage game. Whatever level you play at, junior high, high school, college, in the NFL, the line of scrimmage is a big man's area. And there's weight classes in boxing and UFC fighting for a reason. And that's why they do it, because the bigger people would, no matter how good a smaller person is, would demolish them in that regard. And then that's why the bigger guys you get, the better. But it's also not just about the size; it's about the ability that goes along with it and all the things that go along with being a good offensive lineman. And so it's a combination of both of those things. But when you can get the size and the ability to go along with it, you have a chance to be a really successful player.
Kenny, you haven't been able to turn loose yet, but it seems like he's kind of rebuilt his body a little bit, and he seems kind of, what's your approach, kind of how you handle him and the center position in the spring?
Yeah, he's able to do things, everything with the the full contact, team stuff, but he's getting individual, all sorts of individual work and drills and run and pass and being able to stay with it. And the other guy's doing a good job, but he's staying with it. He obviously knows what to do. He's played a lot of football. Since he had his procedure in the off season, he's really worked to rehabilitate that, and then get himself in a position to be able to play the game at a high level. Play physical up front, but also be able to play offensively with some tempo and have the stamina to do it. And he knows what he has to do, and he's working to do those things that he has to do right now, without being 100% into the mix, with all the groups. But to be able to, when we get into the summer, to hit the ground running at that spot, whether it be the center, whether it be guard, or whether it be able to play both of them.
Can you describe this to have him? I mean, obviously, when last year began, it wasn't something you were expecting to have again. What does it mean to have him, that experience and leadership?
Oh gosh, I mean, anytime you get an extra body on the offensive line, it's important. I mean, it's good, the way we practice, and different groups and having extra guys, but then you get a guy that has the amount of experience that he does. And regardless of what offense they played in, whether what system they played in, just the fact they've gotten they've been on the field, they've had their hand on the ball, they've executed a snap, they've been able to play in a game. That's a huge bonus, Ken. It really is. And it's at any position, but really more so on the O-line. That experience matters so much.
I was watching you guys during Indy drills, and it was really interesting to me because I was watching Jordan Williams, and he comes over to the side and he's standing there and he's kind of just like watching it happen, and then Ryan Johnson walks over to him, starts talking to him about where he's supposed to go, fits that he's supposed to have, and all that kind of stuff. And then Zach Quinney comes over and does the same type of thing, and they're just like bouncing back and forth between one another, talking to him. I guess with Ryan in that mix, we've seen Zach do it all the time, but with Ryan in that mix, what does he kind of mean to this position group?
Yeah, well, anytime you're coaching guys, you've got only so many sets of eyes, and to have older guys be able to get in to help out younger players, that's a true bonus. But at the same time, when you're not out on the field playing, the coach is never out on the field. So those guys have to, coach each other and help each other when they're on the field and they're playing together. So why not start doing it now? Start developing that cohesiveness. But in regards to Ryan Hoss, as we call him, I think he made the name up himself, but it's fitting. He's been a great addition. Not even talking as a player, just as a fit in the room, and that's a super important to me as an offensive line coach is the fit. And when you're recruiting people, you can't get caught up just in how they play on game film. You have to know the whole evaluation of somebody and the character, and then how they fit in the room. Super important. And when we decided to go through the grad transfer market, to build some depth and to build some different areas that we felt like we needed. We made the decision. We looked at different guys and we recruited different guys, but at the same time, I went to the guys that were currently in the room and I talked to them, and the guys that have played. But to me, that's really important that they're able to accept somebody else coming in to their group who they've been here for 3 years, for 4 years, doing everything here, and then somebody comes in for 1 year with them. But that was important to me that those guys were all accepting of those people coming in before we even brought one of those guys in, and all of them welcomed them with open arms. And you can see just by the way the cohesiveness within those guys already, how well they fit and how well that they like each other.
What's the learning curve like for Rankins and Jordan Williams in terms of playing tackle at this level and the physicality aspect of it for them?
Everybody's different when it comes to the learning curve of playing offensive line. A lot of it is in terms of the high school program you came from and what type of system you ran in high school, all those different things. But all those different factors can kind of go in to give a different baseline for each individual. But at the end of the day, none of them have done the things that we're doing out here. None of them have executed things the way we're trying to execute them. So when you're going into teaching a young guy, you start at square one and assume that they know nothing, and teach them and build the blocks up from the bottom.
About the 22, 23-pound weight gain.
I'm sorry.
The 22 or 23-pound weight gain you had. The first, was that like from the end of the last season or an earlier point? And also, have you seen that impact already?
I think that I'm not sure. I believe it was from the start of the end of the beginning of last year. It's like a 1 year cycle with the offensive line that I was referring to.
Okay. It's like when you guys came in.
Or
the first spring.
I don't know the exact date, but it's a year-long deal because as a big man, just put a baseline if it's 300 pounds. As the season goes on, your body is worn down, and the challenge is to be able to maintain that weight and keep the weight up. But a lot of guys, you might see a game in November and you might open up the media guide that says 295 pounds, but they might be weighing 275. I know that was listed a certain weight when I was playing in college. I wasn't even close to that. So the big guys lose. I wish I could lose the weight right now, but maybe I need to go back and do the same thing. The ability to rebuild that weight back up, and then add on top of that is the challenge as well. So,
have you seen like that impact already?
Oh goodness,
the way guys are moving.
Oh yeah.
Guys.
And when you gain weight, it's not all about just gaining weight. It's about being able to maintain the same, the body movements and body mechanics and balance and body control and explosion and all those things that you do. And that's what they've done a great job of. And that's what I've been pleased with is they've had added weight gain, added muscle, muscle mass, and be able to move and execute those things. But a lot of that comes with knowing what you're doing better. Having more confidence. Confidence, obviously is the leading leading thing for you to be able to go out and have success. You have the confidence in yourself first.
What did you see in Mikey to move him around?
It's like we always try to move guys around and play different positions, but I think I've said this before. The job of an offensive line coach is to get the best 5 guys on the field at the same time, and the more positions we can get him in to see that they can do that. He obviously has traits that we like at that position, and being able to put him in there and run the show and do those things. It all in all helps us get the best 5 guys on the field, and that those 5 guys can change. Obviously, I mean, look at what happened last year at different times.
Right.
But it's always to get the best 5. It's not necessarily the next best right guard, the next best left tackle. It's the best 5 guys on the field at the same time. And that's constantly the challenge what we're trying to do.
How's he adjusting to making the checks and that type of thing?
He's done well, done really well. Still consistently working with the snaps and getting the snaps consistent, which is nothing new that having experience with somebody new going at that position. Becoming consistent with that, consistent with making the calls, then all of a sudden something changes at the last minute, and something he hadn't seen because, I saw a thing the other day, not long ago. Somebody said that the combinations of gaps that are on defense and alignments that they can align on defense, there's something over 111,000 different ways that a defensive front can align. So as a center, until you've taken 111,000 snaps at one of each different thing, you hadn't witnessed everything. So being able to see those things and then anticipate what's going to happen are so important. The anticipation factor is what our guys, I do think, are doing a better job of anticipating what's about to occur, so they can put themselves in a better position to go out and execute.
Couple more for Coach Key.
How important was it that you got the 4 guys to come in, Ryan, and the other Ryan and the 2 tackles, and then because you have a big offensive line class you signed as well to ease that transition, so you're not trying to break 8 guys in that are new, to have that kind of this spring period to kind of get some of them acclimated to what you guys do.
Yeah, anytime you can get a guy in early and have extra time with them, it's important. It's basically like an extra season with them almost. Half a year, but it's good. I don't think this year the numbers really matter, whether it's 1 person, 8 people, 5 people. At the end of the day, you're going to get all of them ready to play and go out and run, execute what they've got to execute. But anytime you can get a guy in early, it's an advantage because it puts them that much further ahead when the summertime gets here. And I think the freshmen have already said that, like, how excited they'll be, when you kind of fast forward and look at the summer, and they're like, now we can help teach the other guys that are coming in what's going on.
What are some things that you look back on the 2019 season that you wanted to come in to the spring and work on?
I'm not trying to be cliche when I say this, but I'm not trying to look in the back. I'm not trying to look behind. It's a new group. It's a new group of guys. There are some of the same people that are out there doing things, but when we set our goals, for the group, it's really nothing based on last season. It's based on things that we know we have to do to be successful this year. And you individualize them a little bit when it comes to the things that you're trying to work on, so you can pinpoint them. But I bet if you looked at the last 10 years of coaching offensive line, if you put 10 things on a board, you got to get better at 8 of them. Are probably going to be the same thing every year. I mean, you can really overcomplicate this position too, and then allow cause players to play paralyzed and slow. So the more I can make things simple and help these kids out, it allows them to go out and play faster. So trying to keep the basics, and Coach Curry had a tweet a couple of days ago about when he had his first training camp at Green Bay, and Forrest Gregg was there. He was an 8-time All-Pro at that time, and Coach Curry, saw him out there, and the very first day of training camp, he was working on the stance. And he said, why are you working on your stance? You've been an All-Pro 8 times. And he said, because you're only good as your basic fundamentals of what you do. And it's always refreshing for an O-line coach to hear that, because that is what our position is about. And to be able to have Coach Curry, say those things, and then obviously have him around, being a Georgia Tech man, but also an Georgia Tech offensive lineman that's had the success he's had playing the game, and the knowledge that he has is truly tremendous. Just to see him around here, and really rubs off. And I think it's impactful for the kids. But that was a quote that he shared, and I thought was really fitting for our position.
Tori, last one.
Going back to this last recruiting cycle, and it's really the first time that y'all really get to dig your feet in here here in Atlanta. It's something that Coach Collins said, I think, his signing day press conference. He's like, you look at the offensive line recruits that we're bringing in, he's like, I see a lot of Brent Key in these individuals. When you hear that, do you see a lot of yourself in these guys that you're bringing in? Because obviously there has to be that connection, otherwise they wouldn't come here. Like, do you see yourself in them?
Yeah, that's flattering. Coach Collins would say that. They're a lot better than I was. They'll say in 5 years out, 10 years out, 20 years out, that, you go from being an all-conference to an all-American to a first-round pick in your own mind, right? But these guys have the characteristics that I want in an offensive lineman, and the toughness and the love of football is so important, because it is the only position where every single play you are having contact with another person over and over and over, repeatedly, day in and day out. And it's a physical position, it's a no glory position, but that's what I love about it. That's what our guys love about it, and to bring guys in to share that same passion about the position, and the love of the game, and love to everything about what our position is. Those are the guys that you feel like you can connect with and have a great connection with. And luckily I was able to walk into a room, a little over a year ago, that had a group of guys that was passionate about the position and loved playing it, and now being able to put all of them together, really, really excited about the future of our position and where we're going to go, but excited to get in and watch the tape and see what we got to do to fix today.
Okay.